Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
You ready? You good?
Hi, can everybody hear me? All right, cool. So yeah, I'm Mark. I run Avocora and a bunch of other startups. Avocora right now is what I call just a technology innovation business. That means right now we're doing web apps, but in the future we're looking to doing something more meaningful, such as something that's very meaningful, such as social consumer electronics. So those are my other startups that I run and with a few friends and stuff. So enough about me. This is Generation Y, and I'm calling this Generation Y.5 because Wikipedia, if you look at Wikipedia, it's going to define Generation X as from 1980 to 1994 or something. And I'm looking more into 1985-ish, that area. So that's what I guess you can call Generation Y.5. So how will they affect future technology? I have 5 points that general points to how they will affect it. First one is that there's more exposure to new technology. We're more exposed to new technology, and we're more comfortable with new technology. So we had the luxury of having a lot of mobile phones, social networks, SMS texting. So we know a lot of technology. In the future, we're even able easier to adopt new technology, and that's one thing. And it's part of it is that that companies are making technology easier to be used. And part of it is that we're just a lot more used to. We see the benefits of using technology, such as we're being more connected to the people we know, and we're meeting new people as well. So we know that we're more comfortable as a result. Second thing is creating technology, innovators and entrepreneurs. Because we're more into technology and are more comfortable with it, we're creating even more technology people out of college and high school who are doing startups, who are doing technology innovation jobs, and not only or do we have the initiative to do that, we're even more wanting to do that and pushed with firms such as VC firms, as well as the Y Combinator and Techstars. One of the guys here is from Techstars, and so these guys are basically influencing Generation Y.5 to create more technology, to create more meaning. Third thing is changing career paths, jobs, and influence, and that means it's more of a 24. We're more used to a 24-hour lifestyle and job lifestyle, and the influence we have is that we're influencing companies to put more social and put into their products, as well as having less, staying less at one job, as we're seeing these years. And we're used to the age of data, which means we know we can always find something, and if there's information we want, we can get it. And we also have a lot lower of attention span. So if something's not interesting to us, we're going to go find something else, because there's always something that's entertaining based on the internet and other technology as well. And lastly, the more important one is more social, and we're more connected. So we're being more basically, we're more exposed to being connected to our peers and people we know and we don't know. And as a result, future technology needs to implement social, it's like consumer electronics needs to implement more social features that will be appealing to us. So that's it for my spiel. So
You do great.
okay.
So that's a hard act to follow. I started my first business in 1980, and this is how I appeared when I went to work in 1980. And this is what has happened during my business career. It's very different, isn't it? look at what I grew up without. No fax machine, no internet, no cell phone, no FedEx, no Google, no television, no Intel, no Microsoft, and no iPhone. And you can name a gazillion things that I grew up without. Okay, so I did have a telephone. That I had. I had a wired landline, remember those? Next slide, give me the next slide. But there were some things that I had. I had privacy. I had security. I knew my country was a ranking world power. I had clean air. I had health care. I had a 2-parent household. And I had an extramarital affair, and no one ever found out about it. I do not think that could happen today. Okay, you can give me the last one. So you know how the eye doctor says, better one, better two, better this way, better that way? That's the kind of discussion I hope to have with Mark. So Mark, do you ever think you'll have a job?
I think my goal in life is to, it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's to provide a lot of value for the world at large. And as Guy Kawasaki said, to provide a lot of meaning. And one thing he didn't get right is that he said that if you provide a lot of meaning, you will get a lot of money. But if you do provide a lot of meaning, if you do it right, you'll get a lot of money because, obviously, if you don't do it right, and you still provide a lot of meaning, you won't make any money. But that's what I'm looking to do. Definitely in economies like China and providing a lot of value for their economy, their social systems. And I think that's my job, is to, first of all, provide a lot of meaning by doing whatever I can, doing social consumer electronics, doing web applications right now. Right now I do provide value for consumers by providing Poolify, which is I did with a friend of mine in the weekend, just a weekend hacking project, which was we made Poolify with my friend Dan Grover, and it basically looks at your Wi-Fi networks and connects to the people who are around you that have the same Wi-Fi network, so you can see like a feed of what's going on with them, like Flickr and Twitter and stuff. And that provides value if you find new people and stuff, as well as doing a lot of good stuff for small businesses who want just the organizational aspect, which is one of my other products. But that's one thing that...
So, dude, you don't know what a job is.
No, I don't...
A job is when your alarm goes off at 6 o'clock in the morning, you jump in the shower, pop a few Advil, get on the road, drive somewhere, check in with your security badge, and go to a cubicle. I worked for Intel for a while. Go into your cubicle and email the people next to you. That's right? Am I right? That's a job. You will never probably have a job like that.
I sure hope not.
Yeah.
All right.
Totally. And therefore, you're not going to have another one of those things that my generation is, got its drawers in a knot about. And that is retirement, right?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, why would you if you don't work in the first place, if you don't have a job?
Well, I hope I retire sometime, but...
But to be fair, you've already sold a Facebook app.
I've sold like 3, actually.
I just got on Facebook last week.
And my children won't even friend me on Facebook, and I have to use an avatar that doesn't look like me to hide the fact about who I really am on Facebook. No. But truthfully, don't you see that as a fundamental change?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that kind of job and what I think is my job, as in to just do good stuff. I mean, I hope not. I hope I don't ever have a job like, just 9 to 5 or something. But if it's for capital, I mean, it's okay, I guess.
But that's huge. That is one huge change. So the question I meant to start out with that I didn't, but how much in the way am I and my generation, how much are we in your way? How soon do we have to die to give you the world?
Well, I think it's definitely in the future when consumer markets will be targeted towards the Generation Y market. As they target their focus to that market, then definitely there'll be an opening for the Generation X or Generation W market, which will definitely provide services as well. I mean, I don't think that's definitely not a problem at all, and definitely need to have Generation Y connect with the other generations.
So you mean you're
Well,
going to build something for me?
Well, like just
Not
have others.
Not so fast, lady.
We'll just have others just learn from Generation W and X. I mean, I won't tell that to my parents, but a great experience in that as well. Definitely a great market too. So.
What are you building now?
I don't want to go into like a sales pitch or anything. I mean, I released a small business SaaS collaboration. I think that's a legal amount of buzzwords you can put in a sentence, but like, it's a collaboration system for small businesses that integrates like Twitter for Business, Wiki, and then project management and all that stuff. So that's where I'm working right now, and working on getting Poolify, into a pretty cool application for people to use. Just working on a lot of startups and trying to do good stuff. I mean, make a lot of meaning, I guess. So I think that's my job in terms of what I do and my work.
So what place does school have in your life?
It's like, don't ask for my GPA because last year was just like, it's terrible, but it's hard to find a balance, definitely. And definitely going to late night coding and that kind of thing.
Do you see the usefulness of school to your life at all? School as it's currently configured?
I'm usually, if you follow my Twitter, I'm usually just like, during school, I'm like being like, kind of complaining about it sometimes. But like, it's mostly just, I have to do it for college, and for college I get the networking, which is very important, but
Well, and if you want to bring out some points from this discussion, there's the huge difference right there. For me, school was really necessary to get information, and college was really necessary to get the skills to get the job. I guess I'm grappling with whether school as an entity has any value for you at all, since you can get your information 24/7, probably in better formats.
True. I mean, just school is in its present form isn't teaching most of the most important, most of the up and coming jobs. I mean, definitely it teaches the history and English, which is important, but history and like chemistry and biology, which have been jobs for a while, but they don't teach such a lot of business and finances, that kind of thing, which I think is really important for the emerging generation to be learning for the future. Yeah.
What would you like school to be doing?
I would
This
like.
is a kind of a pressing issue for me because I really feel like there's something fundamentally broken about education. You're the first person in school I've talked to in quite a while.
So what would I change about it, I guess?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's just I've been in it with too long, and it's just something that I have to do. But definitely would like to see more schools. I mean, there are a lot of schools that are vocational schools and that kind of thing, where targeted towards a certain interest or job or career sector. And definitely would love to see more high schools targeted toward that. I mean, a lot of colleges are, but high school is something that's mostly just mix of all the different subjects put together, and I don't think that's a great way to see what kind of career you're looking to go into. So.
No kidding. What's the most important technology for people your age and generation?
I think it's between Facebook and text messaging, I think, because it's so widespread, and everyone has a Facebook and connect to them, and that's where if you want to talk to someone, email in generation, or well, at least my
Thank
email isn't something you do. It's
Thank
you
God.
get Facebook things in email, but what you do on Facebook is you talk to people and be social. You're not going to do that on email. At least in my high school, people. So Facebook is one thing, and text messaging is the other, which is the technology that just lets people connect anywhere they have a cell phone, which is pretty much anywhere. So, I mean, definitely Generation Y, we all know is text messaging is a huge thing.
So you think it's the cell phone? I mean, that was the big change?
Yeah, mobile is just definitely one of the biggest emerging markets, and what I'm trying to do is just social consumer electronics. I mean, you have like a unified communication system. That would be a lot of social interaction that you would have, even more than text messaging. You have it anywhere or something like that. I don't know. It's just something you would really would like to experience, probably.
Am I going in the right direction?
Yeah, you're going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm in the middle. See, I'm in
Okay.
between you.
Well,
so-
I'd like to, I'd like the audience to ask some questions too, but I want to ask the two questions that I haven't gotten to that I really think are important. Do you ever think about privacy?
Yeah, I think that privacy is.
Overrated.
I don't think privacy is going to change in the future with regard to Generation Y, and I'm not even too sure. Like, I would say about 20% of the people I know from the Generation Y are really concerned about privacy, and so I mean, Facebook has privacy features. All the major social networks have privacy features.
Do you use them?
Not really, So, I mean, people are just mostly open about it. They're like that 20% that are creating 80% of the commotion about it sometimes. But mostly, I think privacy is only going to be granted between people on a certain technology, but not between the technology and the person itself.
That is a big-ass generational change. Big change. What about security and identity theft? I'm asking the questions that stop people of my generation, not me because I'm stupid, but the other people my generation have these concerns about putting information out on the internet, and actually Danny Sullivan talked about this before lunch. What about identity theft or secure identity?
With regard to, I mean,
Is it important for you, Mark? Is it important for you?
it's definitely important to keep an identity for. I think a lot of people definitely think about what happens when people search for you on Google, Facebook, and it's been and as more stories emerge about people searching for people on Facebook, and with regard to jobs and finding jobs and going to college, I think Generation Y is being more concerned with security and identity and what they have online.
And also financial information. The whole thing of financial information is a whole other subject that doesn't really apply to you yet, but I think that's a huge issue for older people.
Sounds like he's financially set. 3 Facebook apps?
Totally. I
It
mean, he
wasn't
doesn't care. They can have his identity. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to understand, when I was 14 years old, I was making $250 an hour.
When I was 14 years old, I was a free camp counselor. Can we get questions,
questions
from the audience?
Please, you guys have to be
Anybody
full
have
of them.
those roving? Oh, there's somebody in the back. And
Please
there's
make sure you stand
this
up.
gentleman in the camo.
We're having issues with lighting and whatnot, but please. Wait.
Say that I think Mark's inability to kind of answer your question directly really represents a huge gap in the difference between your generation and his when it comes to privacy and security. Like, I think that I was just gonna say, I think that Mark's inability to answer your question
Keep going, Chris. Just keep going.
Okay. So, I mean, I think that when we say
I agree with you.
It actually mean completely different things, and like it's like when I go out in public, I don't assume that I assume that my photo is gonna be taken by security cameras, and I assume that people will see me out there and talk about where I'm going. And I also think that amongst your generation and my parents and stuff, that I think you should turn off the TV and turn off the mainstream media. I think a lot of the identity theft stuff or like a scaredness of these new online mediums is actually, it's like the stories that were being reported from Beijing where there was no correlation between the facts of the situation, the stories that are being reported. So I'm not saying there's never been identity theft or never been these problems, but I think that the scope and the scale of people understanding of them is way out of proportion with what's actually going on online.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think, I put all my information out on the internet. I am probably one of the only people that I know who hasn't had any problem with fraud or identity theft. I feel like the LifeLock guy. Back there.
Mets, how you doing? I've read all the articles in all the big pubs like Business Week and Time, and they talk about, this crazy sense of entitlement that's, purportedly deeply instilled in the Gen Y.5 or in the millennials. And so my question's about this purported sense of entitlement in technology. Do you, A, think this sense of entitlement truly exists, generationally speaking? And also, do you feel, if it does, that there's any connection between sort of growing up within this whole techno bubble and feeling this? Because, I'm only about a half generation away from you. I just turned 31, so I use the same technologies as you do every day. So I'm just wondering, I don't feel all this entitlement. Do you?
Sorry, I didn't catch the title. What was it?
Entitled. Do you feel entitled to use all this technology, like it's got to be in your school and your workplace?
Yeah, I think definitely it's kind of like a social peer pressure as well. If everyone else is using it, like Facebook definitely was expanded using that. And yeah, I definitely feel that people are pressured sometimes into using it, but yeah.
Yes. Somebody over here?
I just had a question. Earlier,
The guy back of you. Okay, well, never mind.
when you first started your speech earlier, you mentioned social consumer electronics, that's what you kind of want to create as you go forward. So could you talk a little bit more about that, and what exactly do you mean?
Right, that's kind of like one of my goals in life, I guess, is to connect people in some kind of social system that also connects with the idea of having technology integrated. That's just one of the ideas I was thinking of where I'm leading Avocora to. Yeah.
Oh, let Eric go. Eric was first.
So I'm curious, a question for Mark. How do you find that your generation's relationship is with others of the same age across the world at an international level? Is that getting into just the casual and ambient, intimate relationships that you might have? Do you think that that's something that is going to be your generation or the generation after you, where we're really going to have close personal relationships with people thousands and thousands of miles before, which is very unprecedented. So I'm curious about your experience with that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely it's possible. I'm definitely seeing a lot of technology that's putting people next to each other.
Hannah, good.
Sorry?
Good.
Oh, okay. Just putting people right next to each other. In a few years, we might have the telepresence, the Cisco thing, for consumers to use, and that's definitely a possibility that, one, that is possible, but two, that people are also willing to explore to meet other people of different locations and geographical locations,
Let me talk to that for a second before we answer your question. I heard the CTO of Cisco speak at a digital home conference, and she basically said that they are going to release their telepresence app as a consumer app. And she said it just is absolutely unbelievable how close you can feel to the people that you're talking to, no matter where they are. And I think that is, and that, by the way, is something she said was demanded of Cisco by their employees, their younger employees, who, to your point, felt entitled to have the same technology in the workplace that they have at home. And that led Cisco to develop telepresence and a whole lot of other apps that are then going to, it kind of feeds on itself. Your question?
Okay, I have one for each of you, actually. Mark, you are very well acquainted already with Chris's live stream and chat room. They all met you last night. Right now, we have over 850 people watching the live stream, almost 400 in chat. A very large part of that group is your age, within a year or two. They all wanted me to tell you, first of all, that they admire you and look up to you and use you as like a role model of what they would like to do. When I asked the chat room, what one question do you want me to ask Mark? Overwhelmingly, almost all of them wanted to know, most kids your age, no offense, are out chasing girls or playing video games. What inspired you to do what you're doing so that they can take after that?
I said this last night, and what I'll say it again. It's just, I wanted, there's kind of two parts of being successful in life. Is one thing is to create a lot of meaning, which I said before, and that's the thing that you just do whatever you think is good. I'm looking into starting businesses, and providing great services and products. That's what motivates me to do whatever I do and get bad grades in school and that kind of thing. So that's what motivates me. I can make a difference in first right now when I'm doing web applications, which is an emerging, which is pretty big market, but in the future I can also make a difference in how people communicate and how people can be socially with each other. The second part is, with creating a lot of meaning, you kind of expect some money as well. So, but that's, it's not the most important part. The most important part is to just do something that you think will benefit the world at large. And whether it's something that you've, kind of like a web app that you've always wanted to have, like one thing I've always wanted to have is group Twitter, where I can just Twitter to my friends, and or a group of my team or something. So I went ahead and built it, and people use it. So it's great to just make something people like to use and want. So if you're out there and watching this stream and you're looking into doing something interesting, definitely do it. Technology is easy to get into these days. There's this like 12-year-old here as well as at like DrupalCon or something. He did a presentation on jQuery, and I was like, this is my first speaking engagement. He's 12 and I'm 16, and I'm kind of feeling old, but but
Wait a minute. I want to know how many people my age are in the chat room.
Actually, a fair bit. I would say a fair bit, Francine. In fact,
We have people, honestly, on a regular basis, Francine, we have people anywhere from 12 all the way up to, honestly, in their 60s and 70s,
Yeah.
I've seen. That same group of people told me to tell you that they love you and they would like you to dance every year. They also wanted me to
That makes me feel like Ellen DeGeneres.
They also wanted me to ask you quickly what you feel the biggest difference is or advancement in technology from the time you started working at Blazer until now.
Oh, totally, the internet. My children always say to me that they cannot stand my saying that the internet changed my life. But the internet changed my life because I'm an information junkie. And it put information at my fingertips, and it enlarged my life. And I actually do have those friends in many different countries around the world that when I go to those countries, look at me and say, they hug me, and I stay at their houses, and I'm their friend because I know them online. And so I would say it's the internet for shizzle.
Actually, to add to that comment, it's interesting. I can't say that. I guess I have a few exceptions. A couple of my neighbors are here. A few of my neighbors. I'm not going to point them out. Don't want to embarrass them. But for the most part, I have more in common with Stephen, who's manning that camera, who came all the way from Ireland to come to Gnome Decks, and we roped into helping. We sit on, now you need to turn the camera on yourself. We sit on Ventrilo, which is an application that's really for gamers, low latency, high quality voice. And it's like he's in the room with me. And from a different country, it's a life-changing thing. And I'm, one of my good friends right there helping out at Gnome Deck. Sorry about that.
There's 2 questions. 5 minutes.
Mark, first of all, thank you very much for being here today and speaking with us. You answered my first question about what motivates you. Being of a generation a couple steps above you, I'm curious, do you ever think about being in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, what that might hold for you, or you're just dealing right now in the here and now?
I think I'm just dealing with here now, but what I'm thinking of in the 50s and 60s or whatever, definitely trying to motivate other people to, do whatever to motivate other people when I'm retired, hopefully, to do good things. So that's just my mission in life, I guess. So.
Okay, so I'm between your ages, and I've seen that.
The world is between our ages.
Well, that there's the idealism of youth, and then there's the cynicism of being an adult. And I'm wondering, from both of your perspectives, in an ideal world, what would be an ideal and realistic world? What would be the best way to build a bridge of understanding between the two generations?
I just don't know. I have built a personal bridge because I'm not cynical by hanging out and spending time with younger people and avoiding the people my age who are cynical. Not everybody is, and once they are, there really isn't much you can do about it. What you can do is you can seek out the common beliefs where they occur and try to connect with people where they are. Can't change them.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely agree.
I guess I'm the last question. Mark, I was impressed when I walked in last night, and you were the first person that walked up to me and said, Collective X, I use your site and I love it. But I'm more impressed now, given that you've sold 3 Facebook apps. And
they were small, dude.
But no, we need a Facebook app built. We need an iPhone app built. So at 16, your rates can't be as high as some of these other developers.
Watch out, that's child labor.
So no, he's 16. I think he can. You have a work permit, don't you?
Hold out. Hold out. Don't sell too early. All right. Oh, there's one more question back there. And we haven't gotten the hook yet.
Hi there. I'm of the generation that grew up without the internet but started getting used to it or started being exposed to it at the end of high school or in college. Then the internet grew. And I experienced this thing called information overload, and I still experience it, today. There's just so much content being generated by everyone that I don't know how to keep up. So I was wondering, is that something that you experience too? Or is it just kind of a natural circumstance for you, and how do you kind of deal with it?
Mm-hmm. Definitely something I experience as well, but I think that having technology that becomes more social will create technology that'll filter information overload through what you want and what your friends also such as recommend or something. That will solve that kind of problem, or at least delay the fate of solving it.
For me, I can put up with an awful lot of information overload. I just don't care. I don't really ever feel that. I like it, and whatever, it takes care of itself.
I think we have time for maybe one more question. Back there?
Cool. Well done, Mark and Francine. It's a great talk. Quick question. What advice do you have for employers who are looking to hire young folk. Wow, I sound really old. Tag habits.
Forget about it.
In terms of, both, how to evaluate your skills as well as how to kind of entice and keep you happy. I know you don't want a job, but, I was young once and I wanted a job, and Microsoft said no, so.
Definitely employers need to be, definitely, one of the things that kind of draw people away, or draw my generation away from jobs is, a lot of jobs, is that not being able to have a voice in businesses that actually target towards their generation. So in those businesses, sometimes they don't understand something that they need to make their system more social, or add some, or this feature doesn't work. Employers need to keep an open mind, make their business also keep an open mind about their opinion and how much influence their opinion has on the final product.
And my piece of advice about that would be that there has to be a fundamental restructuring of what is meant by experience, because you're going to have to unlearn as much as you learned in order to, because you learned, if you get, quote, experienced, unquote, you undoubtedly learned some things that really don't matter anymore. Like I can use a slide rule, and I can, add, subtract, and multiply in my head. But who cares? You know what I'm saying? Those are like not real necessary anymore. So as an employer, I would think and did think when I had employees that what was most important was the corporate culture and how the people fit in together and work together and function together as a team, rather than what they knew, because what they know changes from day to day.
Thank you, Mark and Francine.